Hey everyone, Pete here from Rugged Outdoors Guide here on YouTube and RuggedOutdoorsGuide.com. And guys, today I just have something I've just been heavy on my heart, and I just want to tell you guys a few things that are on my mind. Hang in there, bear with me. It's only a few minutes long, and it does affect you. And it has to do with what's going on in sort of a greater context in the world, really, as far as land and conservation of land is concerned. You guys hear me say at the end of a lot of my videos, get out there and enjoy God's creation and keep on looking up. Well, I say that because I truly believe this earth really is God's creation, and some areas of it have been totally destroyed. A lot of the cities and just wastelands of the world that used to be really nice because of just irresponsibility on our part, on humankind in general. But this was really made poignant to me recently. I returned from a trip up in northern Ontario to a place called Wabakimi Provincial Park. Now, when I say northern Ontario here in Canada, I mean northern Ontario. Now, Ontario is a big province, but if you look on a map, there's about a third or a quarter of the way up, there's two cities in a little narrow area called Sudbury and North Bay. And those are really gateway cities to the actual north. And that area north of these cities, almost nobody lives there. There's only about 5 or 6 cities, and they're all small. And it's bigger than the state of Texas, the entire state of Texas. Insane. And I was able to visit a friend of mine, Bruce Heyer. He's the owner of Wabakimi Fishing and Canoe Outfitters near Armstrong, Ontario. And I was made aware of just how beautiful and wild and wildernessy this part of the world is. It's just insanely gorgeous, beautiful, and I kind of felt in my heart, much like Bruce does, that I would like to preserve this. When I say get out there and enjoy God's creation, I believe that biblically, we're to subdue creation and use it for our benefit. However, that doesn't mean we need to destroy it. In fact, that's exactly what it doesn't mean. It means we need to be responsible with it. So I'm not an activist. I'm not here, as a tree hugger or anything like that. I really am not. However, this is just, it's becoming an issue because recently, I don't know if you've checked out the news at all, but you know that people like Bill Gates, for whatever reason, owns like half the farmland in the United States. And it seems like the other half is owned by the Communist Party of China, the Chinese government. Why? Well, it can't be for a good reason. It's not to preserve land for our benefit and for the benefit of humankind. It's there for nefarious reasons. Those ownerships are just, trust me, not good for us in the future. I won't comment on that anymore. You can research it yourself. But there are nefarious interests that want to use our land, and it's not for the betterment of humanity. And so when I was up north at Wabakimi, it really struck me as an area that if you're into canoeing, and I know you somewhat care about the environment, otherwise you probably wouldn't be watching this video because you're a canoeist like me. And so when I was up there, I realized how much land there is, but I also realized how fragile it is. There are people who want the land. There are government helicopters flying around, and there are more and more people using the area generally for commercial purposes. And there are people like various outfitters. Bruce Heyer at Wabakimi Fishing and Canoeing Outfitters is one of them that I would strongly suggest that you support. Now, when I was up there, there's another video I've done about my trip up there, and I would love to tell you more details of how to get to where I was. The only problem is I can't even tell you if I wanted to because it's so incredibly inaccessible. You got to kind of hook up with someone like Bruce to tell you exactly the access points. Do you know that Wabakimi Provincial Park is 5 times bigger than Quetico Provincial Park, which everybody says is the cat's meow for canoeing? I mean, it's gorgeous, but if you combine Quetico Provincial Park and the Boundary Waters Conservation Area in Minnesota, that's massive. Like, everyone in the world knows about that. And guess what? Wabakimi is way bigger. In fact, it's the largest canoe reservation, or preserve, I should say, in the world. And it's an area that it's so far north that it's in the Arctic watershed, meaning that pretty much all the rivers, except for one, all the waterways drain north into like James Bay and eventually Arctic Ocean. So it's way up there, and it's the largest, or pretty much one of the few largest boreal forest reserves in the world as well. So gorgeous place, tons of waterways, excellent fishing, nothing like Southern Ontario because it's just not accessed. You can drop a line in the water and catch a fish, I want to say almost all the time. So it's one of these places that we really need to preserve. And so my action point to you guys is to get out there and support local outfitters like Bruce Heyer at Wabakimi Fishing and Canoe Outfitters. He's the guy who's going to hook you up with the access points to Wabakimi Park and Kopka River Provincial Park, which is another gorgeous place. They're just hard to get to, and he'll tell you where to go. He'll hook you up with emergency equipment like satellite communicators, satellite phones. He'll give you canoes. He'll give you a trip outline. You can go up there for 2 days or 6 weeks, and he'll give you options of where to go for those time frames that you would like to be on your trip. And he'll give you multiple options too. So excellent guy to connect with up there. And of course I have details down below. I don't get anything for that. I'm not connected with Bruce in any way. I just thought he was a nice guy, and you know, we kind of have the same view on preserving wilderness for future generations so we can all go canoeing, right? So the other thing you can do, really, I would strongly encourage this if you can, is to connect with the Friends of. So if you're in Canada and if you're in Ontario, there are, like, every single provincial park has the Friends of, right? So there's the Friends of Algonquin and Friends of Killarney and Friends of Temagami and so on and so forth. Every single park, pretty much, at least all the bigger ones, have Friends of. Connect with them, support them, buy stuff from them. Like, they'll give you maps and they'll give you outlines, and some of them can help you with trip planning, and so can some of the local private outfitters. So I would just suggest do support them. I bought 2 canoes from Bruce recently. He's not only an outfitter, but he's also a canoe retailer, and he's a lot of other things too. Check out our other video on an interview. We have an interview with Bruce, one of the most interesting guys, certainly the most interesting guy in Northern Ontario. He's actually from Maine, but he wanted to spend his life in the Northern Canadian wilderness. So we'll tell you more about that story in that video. Anyways, guys, that's it. That's just all I have to say for you today. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you guys can take advantage of the services of a great outfitter in Northern Ontario, which is one of the final frontiers. There aren't many. There are a few, like a few other northern areas in the different provinces in Canada, like Quebec and Saskatchewan, BC, maybe Alaska as well in the US, but that's about it. There's not many places left in the world. Northern Ontario is one of them, and let's preserve it. Why not? It doesn't take much, and you'll enjoy checking it out, as well as using the services of the Friends of and a local outfitter that is there to advocate for the preservation of wilderness. Hey guys, thanks for joining me for my soapbox this week. I don't have too many soapboxes, so thanks for sticking around and hearing me out on this one, and I will see you very soon, like next week. All right guys, check out some of these other videos too. You might find something very useful. Take care.